Hello, hello, hello.
Good
Hello.
evening.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Hey, drinks up, drinks up. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. It's such a, all right, I think, we'll start. Let's dive in. Hi, I'm the Bale, I already fucked it up, you guys. I'm sorry, I have to go.
No!
Hi, I'm the blast of Balefire that knocked Barney Harris out of season 2, Daylin.
And I am Moraine's absolute refusal to sleep with Rand, Eric.
And I am taking the bad news of this week, standing up like a man, Ryan.
And I only make love with a fox head medallion around my neck. Brother Dan.
And welcome to a very special episode of Loial's Book Club, a podcast dedicated to dissecting and discussing Robert Jordan's epic fantasy series, The Wheel of Time. And we'll be diving into chapters 5 through 9 of The Fires of Heaven. But before we do that, we want to welcome our very special guest and very gracious host from the Way of the Leaf. We have Brother Dan and Brother Ryan.
Hi, guys.
Hey. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, before we start, I do have to know, just for my own curiosity, puppets. Do you age the same way as adults, and are you old enough to drink?
Yes, we are of legal drinking age. We have that ageless face all puppets kind of have from using a fist up our butts for years. So it's like the one power. We just don't look like we age.
Gotcha. Okay. As long as we're cool.
Yeah.
But it should be clear. It should be clear by my face that I've been through some shit.
It's the 1,000-yard stare.
Let's just get that on the table.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Just kick off this book club. Of course, we've got our libations. Daylin picked the drink of choice tonight. Daylin, I'm going to throw it to you. What are we drinking and why?
All right, I caught that. And we are drinking a lovely and simple red wine. My reasoning behind this, I wanted red wine today.
Beautiful.
Normally we do have cocktails more catered to the chapter, but today I was just kind of feeling like a simple red wine. I think these chapters are a little emotionally heavy, and so I figured a nice glass of wine is just what the soul needs.
Perfect.
Good pick.
There's a theater degree coming in.
I myself, since I am not with Daylin, we are not splitting a bottle of wine. I went a little different. I'm actually drinking a Macallan 12. It is a double oak cask. I figured we've got double the guest, the cask up. And it's a bit of a, it's a very nice aged scotch. So I figured a special occasion, huh?
Nice. Macallan's great.
Amazing. This is the first one I've ever had, and I gotta say, if you are a Scotch whiskey drinker, please, by all means, find yourself a Macallan, dive in. It's good.
I am slowly getting to darker liquors.
That voice of yours, Eric, that was an ad for Macallan's. I'm gonna break that down.
just splice that part, send it off to them, and we'll see if we can get them to sponsor our channel, huh?
Yeah. Macallan's brand deal. Want that? So what are you two drinking?
Oh, I am drinking an amazing red vintage Kirkland 2018.
Ooh,
vintage.
From the land of Costco. Costco.
Had to scrape the dust off of that bottle, huh?
I thought I had red wine. It turned out to be sangria, and I did not want sangria. So I'm drinking a Two-Hearted Ale by Bell's. It's a IPA.
Very nice.
Two-Hearted, because that's what we're giving you, both of our hearts.
Oh, we appreciate it. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
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 Prost.
No. Mention Alcalar, as they say in the old town.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. It's allergy season. So before we get into these chapters, we kind of want to pick your guys' brains a little bit, just the history of the Way of the Leaf and how you guys got into Wheel of Time and all that.
Oh, man.
Right.
I thought, do you have time for this?
We'll make time.
Oh, okay. Well, I started off, a friend of mine in college sat me down and tried to get me to read the first book, and I laughed at the cover, and I said, no effing way. And then he begged me, and then I read it, and then I just gobbled it up until I had to stop at, like, I think book 7, and I had to wait. And then I gave my brother, he came and visited me, and he left with like 7 or 8 books himself, and I got him into it.
Yep. Yep. I remember that they took up my entire back seat. All these big fat little paperbacks.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
There
it is. That's sexy. That's sexy book.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny. My very first podcast ever, and Dan's hit also was a twatcast.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was. I don't know exactly how I stumbled upon it, but like I was like, I got a podcast. I got a BlackBerry, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna find what a podcast is, and I found twatcast. And it was downhill ever since. I still say Nini Ave when I read Nynaeve. It's bad.
You're in good company. You're in good company here.
In our very first or second episode, Eric was going through how he pronounced everyone out, all the names, because reading them is one thing, and I still bully him because he said, Ninaneve, and I went, why did you? There are not 3 N's. Wait, N-Y-N-A. Yeah, okay. I had to confer. I had to check with myself to make sure I'm not fucking up on my own podcast.
That's funny.
But
my
Eric,
man Jordan, he loves that. What? Go for it.
Hey, Eric, how did you pronounce the group of magic users in the Wheel of Time?
ACD. I will say, my man Robert loves that AE combination. I've never seen so many AE pairings in my life.
Yeah.
I think when he was writing this, Harry would look over his shoulder and go, "Where the fuck's the AE, George? Robert? Where are they?"
Do it again.
We talked about this.
Make her have an S name. But there's already 6 characters with S names. Put it in there.
Hey! These names are too diverse. Make them more similar so people are confused.
Yeah.
And make them rhyme. Make them rhyme.
First time in history that diversity got docked and we went more homogenized.
Oh yeah.
Like, dang it.
I feel like the editor just went, wait, who is this name? Shermian, or who was the yellow sister? What is her name? Jumping in a little bit. Shemarin?
Okay.
Shemirin?
Yeah.
She's part of Elida's crew. Yeah, I'm like, Shemirin, do you mean the Mistress of Novices? Oh my god.
Shirian?
Yeah. And it's like, do you mean her? No. But the names sound similar. Won't people get confused? No.
Notice how I didn't even attempt. I'm just on the back line. I'm going to let you guys handle that bit.
Yeah.
I knew what word it was. I just wanted to let you struggle a little bit there.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's not an episode of Loyal's Book Club without me struggling a little bit,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That makes
sense.
sense.
It's not a Wheel of Time podcast if we're not struggling, just a little bit. But I figured let's dive on into these chapters. We got some good stuff in here. A lot of troubling things, I think. Eric, what did you think of these? I think dividing it up into the Ruidian section with chapters 5, 6, and 7, and then with Nynaeve and Elaine, what did you think of, like, am I alone in the ominous feeling that there's something wrong going on here?
No, not at all. I mean, as a very big general spoke for this chapter, the thing that I latched onto the most was the whole idea that Rand is doing one thing that he thinks is going to happen, and Moraine thinks the exact opposite. So we're seeing these, again, these oppositions kind of meeting, and there's a little bit more friction now. And, Rand is trying to do his own thing, and she's trying to play the strings a bit. So, I'm actually, it's not a prediction. I don't have a solid prediction for this chapter. But I do see Rand and Moraine coming to a head at some point in this book, and I honestly would not be surprised if it came down to some type of physical altercation.
Because you ultimately see Rand getting stilled at Egwene's hands, right?
Yeah.
Because the dynamic between Rand and Moraine shifts, like it jumps on its head. She practically begs him to let her counsel him because she knows he's getting away from her, and it's very worrying, I think. But we jumped a little bit ahead, but we catch up with Egwene. We get our first Egwene POV of the book, and she is in her tent. She is vibing. Honestly, she's still not. They are on the outskirts of Ruidian because the wise ones are clinging to some aspect of their prior life before Rand came in, And she is heating up her bath, and I'm gonna fuck up that name, Cowende, cowgirl. One of the guys.
Leaf boys help us because I was gonna go with Cowwind.
Cowwind? Isn't that just when a cow farts?
I don't know who. I don't know.
No, neither do I.
That is fair.
You're talking about the woman that I forget what it's called exactly, but it's about the toe. Like she was captured and she's got to serve for a year and a day. Or am I jumping ahead? I tend to do.
Gaishan?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's the Gaishan, and she's one of the few that Egwene's been trying to kind of get some conversation in with her, but homegirl's taken by the bleakness. A lot of the Aiel are going through it. A lot of them are defecting to the Shido once they are released from being Gaishan. It's a lot. But Brother Dan and Ryan, what did you guys think of the Ruidian section?
Well, speaking about the Gaishan, Egwene is kind of baffled by the whole thing. She doesn't get Giotto. But Aviendra's like, no, you follow it fine. Don't worry about it. You're doing it. But she doesn't seem to have been very nice to this Gaishan, if you ask me. She's like, shut the tent. It's cold. You're letting out all my heat. And then she's like, so what sept you from? and not really reading the room that she didn't want to talk.
Yeah. It's very like you said, she's not reading the room. She just, I don't think, for as much as Egwene thinks she knows things, she's still very much in the dark about a lot. She even says, I feel like I surpassed my teachers at the White Tower and the wise ones with Ranriot and all that. And I just know more, and I think that they're holding me back a little. And it's like, buddy, you are wading where you are swimming where you should be treading carefully. I think one of her flaws is I think there's a little bit of arrogance to her that I think she views as just eagerness,
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
But
Egwene and Viridian has a Dancing with Wolves kind of quality to it.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah, and I love watching her learn about the culture through her personality, through the lens of her character, but also she's it's great. I was just thinking about that earlier.
Yeah, we were on a podcast last night covering the last book, And I think one of the points I made in that set of chapters that actually kind of came up in this set of chapters was Robert Jordan actually takes some big swings at creating these cultures, these religions, these lifestyles, and really kind of doing a contrast of, you got these outsiders coming in and learning about the culture. And we don't learn it through the person learning it. We just see it through the people living that lifestyle. And I think it's good. I think it's actually like really, I don't know. It's impressive because I wouldn't have that in me. I'd write something and it'd be like it would be Dances with Wolves, the fan fiction.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I got to give it up to Jordan. He creates a culture. He's so good at creating cultures, and everything they do makes sense. But we are always kind of on the outside of it because we're seeing it from a Wetlander's perspective. And so it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense to us. Like Aiel humor, we still don't really understand. Like, they'll say something like, yeah, so he went into the cave and there was a snake and the snake hit and they will all piss themselves laughing. Yeah. Like, they will be doubled over screaming, and Egwene and Moraine are like,
yeah, exactly.
Which you'd think there'd be more attempts at humor if it's that easy to make people laugh. And
yeah, I feel like it's one of those
I want to see the improv at the Aiel Ways.
I was about to say, open mic should be real easy.
Oh man! So would you incur tow if you weren't funny?
Oh.
To the wise ones? Like, I think if you aren't fun, if you are funny and you've made them laugh, you've incurred G. But if you don't make them laugh, you've incurred tow. And so,
is it an America's Got Talent panel of judges that bestows if you do it well enough?
It's the wise ones.
Yeah, Amos, Bear, they're just sitting there, like hitting that X button. No.
Oh my god. Yeah, and they have like the sob story. Hi, I'm blah blah from the Bardad Sept. Ruark is my clan chief, and then they have like the sad music playing. I've always loved to dance, but when I was 6, my mother and father were eaten by a bear, and then it's like, listen, nothing gets me more than those old trashy like reality TV competition shows. Like, we hit peak reality TV in like the early mid 2000s, and we can't go back to that level of pure, unfiltered, genuine sort of stuff.
But I want to go back to the desert bear you just came out with.
Yeah,
I
also Ruark, but.
So I'm picturing Ruark's behind, like backstage, and Nick Cannon is standing next to him with like his arm on his shoulder, like, "Hey, buddy."
Hey,
I feel like
I know the bleakness.
Oh my! I feel that's what happens when they get eliminated. It's the bleakness. I feel like we have to pitch this to Rafe Judkins as when we get to the Aiel in the show. We have to completely dismantle what Robert Jordan did, and we have to tell the Couladin, the Shido, and Rand plot in the course of an X Factor season. Couladin auditioned, and Couladin and his friend auditioned, completely bombed, and they got like the red X. And in their confessional, they said, "You know what? Fuck this. We don't need this. We're going to be bigger than any of you." And then Rand came on, and he sang a beautiful melody, and it just goes from there. You know?
And do we call it the sweat tent?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That Amazon hire me.
So for the rest of this chapter, I don't know if there's a ton more going on, but in my notes here, the only other thing that I have for myself as a first-time reader is there's a ton of interesting shit going on with Avienda. There always has been.
Yeah.
And up until this point, it's weird to me in a sense because we keep piling on a ton of her stuff, but we don't buy. Like, she asks Egwene about sister wives, and I'm like, is that a past? Are we going to see that down the line, or is this about someone else? And I think I've pieced something together. Poker faces. This is a prediction. I think Avienda has a crush on Elaine, and because Elaine likes Rand, Avienda doesn't like Rand, and that's kind of the head of the complications and stuff.
A sort of repressed homosexuality sort of thing.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, Avienda is a really... I'm glad you brought up Avienda, because Avienda and Moraine share something in. They know something that is currently fueling a lot of what they're doing. Because something we, in this chapter, is we learn Moraine is trying to get the Wise Ones to speak with Rand because he means to go over the Dragon Wall. And the Wise Ones are just like, we don't fear death. Like, Janduin, Rand's father, had 4 clans behind him. Rand had 6. Like, death is just how it is, dude. Like, you can't really stop this. Like, and again, it's this Moraine, her ties to the Aiel War with, with her uncle, who, cut down Avendasora, started the Aiel War, was eventually killed. There's a lot of stuff there that I think she doesn't want repeated. I think there's some bad blood in Cairhien that she maybe wants to avoid. And the Wise Ones, they bring up the idea of Avienda sleeping in Rand's room. And of course, Egwene's like, no, that's not proper. We can't do that. And Avienda is just balking. Like, she's like, no. And the Wise Ones tell her, you're kind of fighting the pattern here a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to
my first time reader spidey senses are just kind of going on with Avienda. There's some deeper stuff that I think is going to come to a head. Oh
yeah. I think there is something hidden in her that she doesn't know how to express yet, But the chapter ends with them, with Egwene and Avienda having to run. They have to run laps around the Aiel camp. Avienda for failing to make the tea in time, and for Egwene for being stubborn. She. A good moment, a really funny moment that I actually liked. So Egwene has been practicing dream walking more, and she got into Ruark's dream. And we get a little bit more of Egwene is starting to go into people's dreams. And they said it's really dangerous because if you get caught, like, you're sort of in control as it is in Teleran, but the second you go into someone else's dream, you're in their head, you're under their control. And she went into Ruark's, and she suddenly found herself like a little girl playing with a doll. And Amis had to come in and go, girl, get out of there. I think that's just like a fun little, like, Egwene being able to go into people's dreams is a interesting, like, start to her change in her dynamic, And
it also shows the integrity that Ruark has, even in his subconscious. He isn't a perv.
Yeah, Ruark has a good heart. He is our good little Aiel man.
You got that right, buddy.
But that brings us to chapter 6. Again, a very action-filled chapter, Gateways. So Rand has another sexy dream about Avienda. He's been having sexy dreams lately. A lot of the time about, like, Avienda, Elaine, Min. He's just... So it's interesting that you bring up your theory with Avienda, because, again, we don't really get in a lot about homosexuality. Right? We don't get a lot about homosexuality in so far in the Wheel of Time. I mean, Egwene wonders if there's brother husbands, but other than that,
and that brings me to my other soft prediction for this chapter, because that was the prediction for that one, and now when I got to this one, I was wondering, is Avienda in love with Rand? And is it because of that, like kind of like when you have a crush and like you're like, I hate you, I'm gonna hit you, on the schoolyard and stuff, but I really like you. I'm wondering if now there's some of that. It's so interesting because again, we don't get inside her head. We don't get an Avienda POV.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, read and find out. That'd be a read and find out, won't it? Oh my god, I love that. So Rand wakes up and he just immediately gets a whiff of sulfur and just this feeling of there is something wrong. And so he leaves his room because, Lan advised him, let the battle come to you. And he goes up to another floor and he finds the ancient symbol of the Aes Sedai. And he recalls the prophecy of Ruidium where they say, under the sign he will conquer. And I think it's funny that it's on a top floor and below him are the maidens. And he's kind of not conquered the Aiel. Like, there is some pushback with him, but in a sense, he has sort of fulfilled that, But then there's some puppies. There's some evil little puppies coming. And
so before we go forward, I actually had a question for the Leaf Boys.
Ooh, okay.
Because I realized, with the setup and the presentation and everything, Leaf Boys and all of your puppet strength and puppet guiles and everything, individually, if you had to face down one of these Shadow Spawn, Dark Beings, and any of them in the catalog of which we've encountered, which one do you think you could take on single-handedly, one versus one?
Okay, I would. I'd probably.
We'll take bets in the chat too.
Yeah.
I'd have to go for the Ranland version of a Dracula, and I would rather fight a Drakkar, I guess, than a slobbery Deathhound.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't even take my eyes off my phone. That thing would make me like, whoa! You think? Come on, man. You want your soul? They kill you worse than death, right? Don't they just leave you an empty but still alive? Anyway.
Well, plus he cuts off their heads and like Terminator 2. They turn to metal and turn not metal, but like a liquid, and then they just their head grows right back.
Yeah, literally, they just regenerate.
I would say a Grom, because I think I would get all Cesar Chavez on that fucker, and I would alpha male the Grom, and I wouldn't even have to. I would have to raise a fist to it. I would just be like, "Who?"
Caesar Milan?
Caesar Milan. What did I say? Caesar Chavez.
I'm on what? You'd pick his eyes out like grapes.
The political activist.
Yeah. No.
Oh shit! I thought he was a boxer. Anyway, so I was gonna say, Caesar Milan. I would Caesar Milan it. I would dominate it, and I would never have to raise a fist to it.
Nice. All right. Sorry to deviate. That was just some of my own personal curiosity, and I knew when we got here, I needed to know.
That is a great.
Eric, who would you fight one-on-one?
How about you? Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
One-on-one,
you seem nimble.
And because of that, I think it's gonna be a Trolloc. Dead to rights, fist fighting. I think it's a done deal. I'm done. I am not a fighter. But if I can use my head, if I can think one step ahead, it might be might be like when Rand first met them and just kind of squeaked out of there.
Yeah, it will fall on you and you accidentally stab it like Narg.
Yeah, exactly. Not exactly a victory, but I'm alive, so who really won?
And to that point, real quick, Eric, Narg falls on him, right? And he stabs him, and Narg falls on him. How did Rand get out from underneath Narg? That's they didn't really get into that. We've talked about it on our show. That must have been a feet and a half.
Yeah, that's a good 400 pounds of Narg.
Yeah.
A whole lot of Narg.
I think I'd been like, wow, I got away with this, but I'm dead. I'm not moving. I can't get
This is how it ends.
I would choose a fist of Trolloc only because I would have a dummy standing there, and then I'd have a spotlight shine on, and then go. They'd look, and they'd just see me go.
Very nice, very nice.
No.
And then they'd cut my head off.
Holy shit! Somebody in the chat said that they choose a gray man. That scares me. That I don't know, because they're like assassins. So I feel like, well, I guess maybe that's the appeal if you get them face to face. I don't know. I'd piss myself.
Well, okay, Case and I would go for balls, man. Go big or go home.
Oh, you know what, Daylin? Who's the clown that got dusted like mid monologue? Yeah, that's the one. I'd choose that one. That one's easy.
Yeah, if we're facing a Forsaken, let's just face Balal, because I feel like Balal is just no threat at all. I feel like all you would have to do is just be like, so Balal, Lucerne is a better swordsman. He'd be like, oh, so you think I happen to be a better swordsman in my day? And then, like, as his monologue, you just go.
Yep.
It was I who defeated you on the shores of the vast ocean. It was I that was on the mountain. Junk. Oh, it is.
I hate info dumps.
I hate it. Yeah. Exposition.
But Eric, it's interesting that you bring up Balal, because like Balal, these Darkhounds get absolutely wiped away by Balefire. And this isn't Rand's first time using Balefire. He used it, I believe, early on in Dragon Reborn. And Moraine comes up to him. And, you know, we've seen Balefire happen. Moraine's used it. It's been shot at Nynaeve in the Panarch's Palace. But we've never had it explained to us. And it's probably one of the most horrifying things in this universe, because Balefire is so forbidden. It hasn't been used since the War of Power, and even the Shadowspawn and Forsaken hesitated at using it. And it's a forbidden weave. It's not taught in the White Tower. And Rand's kind of just like, you know, what's so bad about that? And Moraine goes on. She can, like, if you are hit by Balefire, everything you have done is gone, you know? Like, I had it explained to me as, imagine you had a dinner party with friends, you cooked a lovely dinner, and then you get and after dinner, you get Balefired. Everyone will remember that there was a lovely dinner, you were there, they ate, but it never actually happened. You know, they didn't actually eat. Like, the things that they did, like that, the course of the night, are gone. And it has disastrous effects on the pattern, because entire towns were wiped out. And again, it's that idea of you lose a thread in the pattern, you lose a man's life, eventually it could become undone. And we see this with Matt, because Rand senses there is danger and like, this is too small of a pack, and he finds Matt got some action. Like, Matt's got his little girlfriend, like Melindra. And I love that he opens the door butt-ass naked going, well, I almost died. Like, it's like full dong hanging out, like he's just vibing. Like, so we find out that Darkhound's slobber blood is very venomous, and Matt has an itch on his arm, and it's a rash, and as the chapter goes on, it gets more swollen. But I'm like, can this guy get a fucking break for once? Like, he got poisoned by the dagger, hung by his neck in Ruidian, and now his arm is swollen. I mean, of all things that happened to Matt, an allergic reaction is kind of now the least of his worries.
Right. He had a rash.
Yeah. You know,
he looks back at the naked woman in his bed, and he's like, you know, it's fine. The doctor said I'd get some cream for her to be gone away in a week. It's okay. We can still. It's fun. It's fine.
I had him going the other way. Going, I was with you one night, woman, and look at my arm. What? And it burns when I pee.
Oh my god. I just
Daylin,
love. Yes.
the context of the Balefire before we go through it. This is actually my first split prediction.
Okay.
So Rand is
because of two puppets. You're now giving two predictions.
exactly. You know
So many
he's
grounds
ambitious.
are being broken.
we're breaking norms here.
All right, here let's go. Here we go.
So I know something on a literary level. I know something, and one of those things is Rand is gonna go through it. He's gonna go through some pain. He's gonna go deep through it. I thought maybe he'd get stilled. I'm splitting that. He's either gonna get stilled or he's gonna get Balefired. He is going to get erased from the pattern as a whole, breaking the pattern. And that's going to be the ultimate sacrifice, ultimate defeat, is something like that. He's going to use that on himself, or it's going to get used on him, and Rand's going to get wiped out from existence. As we know, Rand. I mean, he's still Lucerne and all of that. There he is. But that's one of my split predictions. Rand's going to go through something. It's going to be a stilling or Balefire, or maybe something down the road.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, we'll have to table that, won't we? So Moraine comes in, and Matt is struggling to simultaneously dress and itch the rash. And Moraine begins to heal him, and Matt notices his medallion is ice cold. There she is. It's ice cold on his chest, and he removes it, and Moraine is able to heal him. But her eyes are on that medallion. There's something about that medallion that she can't take her eyes off of. And so this is where we get the shift in their dynamic with Moraine and Rand. So what did you take away from that? Do you have any predictions regarding, I know you mentioned Moraine and Rand coming to a head, but what do you think is fueling this? Do you think it's something she saw in Ruidian, or do you think it's just her kind of like playing the game a little bit?
Oh no, absolutely. Let me look at my notes just to make sure I'm not jumping chapters. Okay, we're gonna get to a point that I think further supports this, but yeah, there's obviously a division. There's a bit of distance that's happening. It wasn't ever quite a teacher-peer relationship or a mentor-mentee. But we're getting further away from whatever it was, I think Moraine has the vision. I think she knows what has to happen. I think she also sees that you can't control every variable, and Rand is easily the biggest variable there is. So yeah, I think it just further supports itself that these two characters are going to come to a head, even though they're technically on the same side. The approach is going to be different, and Rand... It's very angsty, as we see later and stuff. I'll save some of that for that part, but no, I don't see this ending peacefully at all.
Okay. Yeah.
If Rand were a band, what band would Rand be right now?
Oh man, it would be like a Fleetwood Mac in that way, where
infighting. A lot of infighting.
A lot of infighting.
Oh my god.
And sexual.
The Eagles?
And a lot of everyone else on the side is just like, man, this is kind of fucking weird, isn't it? But damn, we love it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That's good.
Rand is Fleetwood Mac. I love that.
You can go.
Would Moraine be Stevie Nicks and Rand is whoever Stevie Nicks dated?
Lindsey Buckingham?
Yes. I don't know. I only know Stevie Nicks.
There's John McVie and Christy McVie. And
Yes!
Mick Fleetwood. There's Lindsey Buckingham. Oh, man.
I know. I apologize in advance for my lack of knowledge of Fleetwood Mac.
My brother has an encyclopedic memory of weird shit, and he'd always be like, "Hey, who sing the song?" And I'd always just say the Beatles because I could never remember. So now I'll send him a song and be like, "Here, here's a new Beatles song," and it's something else.
New Beatles song just dropped. It's great.
Yeah.
It's Lady Gaga.
way different from anything else.
How did you know it was Lady Gaga? Wow.
Lady Gaga, is she one of the Beatles?
Gaga.
She's the fifth Beatle.
She's the fifth Beatle. Fuck Yoko Ono. We got Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
But we get Lady Gaga, speaking of, is my ideal casting for Lanfear. I think she would do it.
That's pretty inspired. I like that.
And Marion Cotillard is my Mogedion.
I don't know who that is.
She was in the Dark Knight Rises. She was Ra's al Ghul's daughter, and she was in
She was Maul in Inception, the dead wife.
Yeah.
You remember that movie?
Okay. And then I've probably seen her. I just can't think of her.
Yeah. It's one of those women of like, you see her and you're like, oh, yeah, she's in this. I love her in that. I just didn't know her name.
Yeah.
Cool.
Lanfear makes a appearance, at Rand's most stressed. Lanfear appears. Rand has these two little miniatures of a man and a woman holding an orb, and we've seen the larger of the female in the Great Hunt when Lanfear was Celine, and they were just outside of Cairhien, and there was that big build site. But we also get an insight to Rand is very traumatized from what happened in the Stone of Tyr, and especially when he killed the woman in the caravan in Dragon Reborn. And so my question is, after the scene with Lanfear, do you trust her at all?
I'm going to let the Leaf Boys answer first.
Wait, do we... Wait.
Oh, I've read the whole book.
Yeah. I know how it ends.
Yeah. What do you think, Greg?
I'm just glomping onto any context clues I can get because no, I don't. However,
hey, first off, hey, we're pros, bro. You can't get nothing on us. We're poker faced.
Okay, that's fair. That's good. No, I don't. However, she was also the one that initiated the whole idea of let's attach you to, let's get you a teacher. I know a guy. It's a bad guy. So I think I don't know, dude. I don't know because this is a part in the series where I'm wondering because there's a couple of themes that are very apparent, and I'm wondering if there is a theme of redemption, if there is a theme of you are a person and you will do the same things, but you can break that cycle, or are you doomed to always repeat that cycle as the same person? And honestly, I don't know. I like I said, I thought it would have been amazing if Moraine had a bit of a, she was a dark side gone good, or she breaks bad or something. I just don't think that's going to happen at this point. Mm-hmm. But Lanfear, I mean, honestly, it's probably not so cut and dry with her as far as all the Forsaken, because I could see her swapping back and forth out of her own self-interest. It's not about good and bad, dark and light, good and evil, whatever. I think it's whatever fits her narrative at that moment. She's one of the few. She's one of the few that can kind of slide in between those two. Ultimately, no, I don't trust her. Ultimately, no.
Yeah, because she comes in and she's like, oh, Asmodean's been telling lies about me, and I'm like, and she's like, Asmodean killed his own mother and left her for the Fays. I'm like, you opened the seals of the Dark Ones first. I'm like, let's not. This is apples and bananas over here.
Lest we forget.
Yeah.
Yes. But so ultimately, no. Ultimately, no. But I do think there are some surprises down the road, if that makes sense.
For sure. And Rand officially finds out that Robin is in Camelin with Morghese under his control, and he wants to take Cairhien, have her sit on the Sun Throne. And Rand's like, do you think that's him trying to get? I mean, again, Lanfear is playing both sides, because in the prologue she was very chummy with Robin, Grendel, and Samael, very oh, let me tell you all about Asmodean and what he's doing, and let's make a plan. But we never find out what that plan is. And we know Lanfear had a plan of Rand learning as much as he can from Asmodean, and then eventually both of them take over. But really, Lanfear was going to take over. So we don't know how much that plan has changed, And we also get Rand's first genuine Luceren memory. He calls her Mirren, which is like, reading that is just like, oh shit, oh buddy. Oh right. No, but it's starting, But whatever Lanfear has planned has to be put aside because she leaves just as Rand gets word that Pooladin is on his way to Jangai Pass, and Rand goes, fuck it, we're going, let's go. And so the Ruidian section of this episode ends with Chapter 7, a departure, Egwene. It's early the next morning. They're heading out. Rand has a plan to get Ogier into Ruidian to build. And she talks to Avienda. And again, it's that kind of cultural clash. I'm kind of going through it a little, kind of speeding through these chapters just because I think, we kind of are getting the same pattern almost. But it does end on a really interesting note, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts, Eric. We switched to Moraine's POV, and the last line that she says, she's talking with Land, who very much disapproves of how Rand is speaking to her, which, is understandable. And we learned that when she went down to the rings, the rings showed her every possible future from every possible decision that she's made, and it really only narrows it down when she's made a decision. And it sounds like at the end of this chapter, maybe she has made a decision because she says she wishes she could see what Rand would make of the Aiel at the end of all of this. So I'm curious to know what you think of that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I love, you know me, like I love Perrin. I think he's like my favorite, but I think it's a real fucking treat when we get Moraine's POV because it's written in such a way that, like, just as mysterious and kind of all powerful as everyone else views her, she really is that. She is that. And we get this cool, almost like Doctor Strange moment of like, I've seen all these timelines and we win in exactly one. And this is kind of where that idea of Balefire and Rand getting absolutely erased kind of came from. I think she sees a future where she has to do some really bad things in the name of the ultimate good.
Yeah.
And it's not revealed yet at all. But going back through a second read through, you're going to see this moment explicitly and go, oh shit, she knows what she has to do. I don't know what it is for the first time going through, but
oh, I know. I know what it is. We know what it is. I know.
When she Balefires Rand, right?
Yeah. Well, no, she fucks Rand. She almost fucks Rand.
She does? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, we're allowed to talk about that?
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It comes out.
It lasts for hours. It's so good.
And you lose all track of time.
Yeah, it's in an igloo, if that helps.
Let me ask you, Eric. So we see that Rand makes a gateway, and Moraine is like, "Whoa!" And he's like, "Yeah, my friend taught me." And he goes and he calls it skimming, I think he calls it, and hears that there is something called traveling that he's unable to get taught because Asmodean is just not strong enough to do it. But he's learning from Asmodean. Do you think that Asmodean is a good presence in Rand's life?
No.
I mean, no. I mean, like in the way that Rand is going to learn more and become more powerful, absolutely. However, the Forsaken are the Forsaken. They're pulling their own strings. They're weaving their own web. This is part of a grander plan to trap Rand, and I think Moraine is going to become a bit more. How would you say? Like she's going to see that. She's going to see some shit that Rand can do and go, hold on, that's a signature Forsaken move or something.
Yeah.
And I actually think that's where their coming to a head is actually going to happen because, I think Rand has a really good intention, to defeat the darkness. Sometimes you have to be as strong as the darkness, dark things.
Yeah.
And I think Moraine absolutely refutes any of that. So yeah, no, I think we're just waiting for the moment where she calls him out and she figures out this kind of relationship that.
All right. Okay. So we leave Ruidian and we go thousands of miles to the west to the road 1 month outside of Tanchico, where we catch up with Nynaeve and Elaine. But we need to address one fucking thing first that happens in this chapter and the next chapter. And it's Elaine flirting with Tom, because that shit is nasty. That is disgusting. I hate it every time I read this damn book. And I get to those chapters, and Elaine is like cooing and like twirling his mustache in her fingers, like, oh.
Is it? This is like a free answer question for everyone besides me. Is it because Elaine is kind of out in the world for the first time and kind of like being mischievous, or is Tom just that charismatic and charming? Is he just that much of a smart fox? Which one do you think it is?
I think Tom's definitely got game with some younger women. We've seen that with Dina. He was with, but I think Elaine is a little complicated. So there's probably something to do with that as well.
What do you think, Eric? What do you think?
I think Tom is just like the George Clooney of this world, to be completely honest. I think he is interesting. I think he's mysterious. I think, he is probably very good looking, which further supports our Sam Elliott casting for Tom.
Yeah. Alexander Willem be damned.
Hello, Moraine.
Oh my God, that's a really impressive Sam Elliott right there. That's great.
Yup, I know.
Apparently, we have a third guest with us tonight, Sam Elliott himself.
Hello. Yep.
I love you on the ranch.
You'll love me everywhere.
But the Elaine flirting with Tom is a point of high contention with a lot of people. I think a lot of people actually, this is the point that's made later on, so we'll touch on that later. But it's nice to get back with them, because I think the funniest part is Nynaeve's reaction to all of this, because she's literally like, he's old enough to be your father, and then her mental brain is, her thoughts like, it's like, he's old enough to be your father. Oh, we're not talking about this right now. Like, back and forth of her going, this is like, she was moping over Rand, and now all of a sudden she's just throwing herself almost at Tom. So they are in Amador, which is kind of where the White Cloaks are. It's near Amadisia, which is the big White Cloak center. And they get stopped by a column of White Cloaks, and they are pretending to be a bunch of dye merchants. And there's a village up ahead, and they decide to stop there for the night because they've been going for nearly a month. Just like stopping for a little bit and then just keep going is the proper term. But eventually, Elaine and I speak words good, y'all. But Nynaeve and Elaine get to talking, and Julian is pretending to sleep while Tom shops, and they talk about where are the Black Aja? Did they get out of Terrebonne? Because last we left Tanchico, it was in full-scale riot mode. Like, it was not a good place to be, and especially with the White Cloak growing political presence there, and especially Moghedien was there, and the Black Aja, and just all these really things. And there's a lot at stake for Nynaeve, because she is ready to throw hands with Moghedien again. Like,
yeah, and I know we talked about it previously that she's kind of been ranked last on my original 5 a couple of times, just because it seems so static. It seems so much of like the same. Like, yeah, I kind of get her deal. There's not. This was one of the chapters actually where I kind of got excited. Where I think she is going to learn and grow in this book so much more than any of the other ones. Like, it starts out with her, you know, she can't channel she can't channel anymore because she's just done being angry. I think that's such an interesting character trait to hang it up on, of like, you can only do this when this happens. And I'm very excited to see the moment she breaks through that, because she has the capability. She has the potential. Yeah. It's just a matter of what does that. And this is actually my prediction of this chapter. She's going to learn how to channel when she has to save land, because it's going to be out of love, not anger or hate.
Okay.
I would love that moment.
So it's this book?
Oh, if it was this book, I'd be, well, yeah, actually, because we've talked about it, where I make these predictions or like talk about like, oh, I can't wait to see that in a book or two, and then it happens the next chapter. I think we're gonna address Nynaeve's inability to channel in this book, I think, and I would love for that to be that specific moment. I would love, as
that's kind of like the closer, you know, like leave her character arc at that for this book. Okay,
all right,
that's a good prediction.
Real quick, Eric, you just said you like that trope of like Nynaeve can only channel when she's angry, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's play I Can Only Blank When I Blank.
Okay? Let's do it. All right,
Brother Dan, I can only blank when I blank. Go.
I can only poop when I'm driving.
Eric, okay. Let's just go around.
Is it me next?
Go.
Yeah. I can only spit game when I'm cuddling my plush toy.
Nice.
I can only enjoy the smooth sounds of jazz while reading Terry Pratchett.
Okay.
Right.
I can only get aroused when I'm being tickled.
I can only train dogs when I call myself Caesar Milan.
Callbacks.
I can only flirt when I pretend I'm Cesar Chavez.
Brother Dan.
Oh, I can only count money while skydiving.
Awesome. All right, that's our game. I can only when I only.
There we go. Nice game, Ryan.
Love it.
Thank you.
A great game.
So, unfortunately, boys, one and all, and all of our viewers, thank you so much for coming by. I have an official work thing I've got to get to. I know this leaves us one chapter behind, so I'm curious, Daylin.
Yeah.
If I absolutely promise not to listen to the episode, and I will honor this, I will go back after I finish the series. I have one last prediction to make in this chapter, but do you want to make this like a spoiler-filled chapter between the three of you when I leave or something?
Sure.
Like, would that be like a fun shakeup, or I don't know, even like spoilers for like what we've talked about or anything? I don't know.
Yes, because I have things to say. So, if Brother Dan and Brother Ryan are cool with that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, Eric, give us your last prediction.
All right, my final prediction is, so in this chapter, we get the secret message, the come back to the White Tower message, right? And then everything goes black. They realize something's T, right? The Black Ajah is so much bigger and has roots so much deeper than we thought. The White Tower is going to become the Black Tower.
Interesting.
Oh, the yin and the yang. Before you leave, here's my last question. Before you leave, I had this idea about what was that voice you were doing, Dan? That country guy?
Sam Elliott.
All right, imagine that. Oh, so I was thinking, man, what if that was the voice in Rand's head, right? All right, so give me an alternative voice in Rand's head that you can that you think is driving him crazy.
Hey there, Rand. I know you're kind of freaking out a little bit. what if you just freaked out a little bit more, my dude? What if you just went absolutely ape shit?
Oh my god.
He's versatile. Eric.
Thank you guys so much for hosting us. I'm going to get my thank yous out of the way while Daylin anchors the rest of this. It was such a pleasure.
Yeah,
I love you guys.
Don't be
Yeah, we got to hang out more, man. This is fun.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for everyone viewing. I will leave you to the last quarter of a very spoiler-filled chapter.
All right.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Hey, have a good day at work. Fuck the man.
Fire.
You said it, brother.
Yes.
Okay,
Alright.
good. Let me tell you. Like Eric said, if you guys have not finished the series, just know we are probably going to go into full spoilers. So if you haven't finished the series, run away. Listen, Eric's predictions have been getting more and more like, buddy, where he's getting close. And I'm like, your heart is going to break when you realize Moraine is dead at the end of this book. Like,
Right.
And,
is he a Moraine stan?
he likes Moraine. I just don't think he does not suspect this series going. He doesn't suspect anything. Like, I was kind of hoping he was going to pick up on, Moraine keeps talking about, like, I'm going to be gone soon and all of that. He hasn't picked up on anything, and so I've been sitting here going, like, okay, maybe he's going to think Moraine dies, but it's been kind of nice that he hasn't gotten there yet. He did get that Avienda likes Rand, but to the extent that was a little like, oh shit.
That whole Moraine thing came out of the blue for me on my first read. I was flabbergasted.
Oh yeah. No.
And then when Land's like, oh, I gotta go, bye. I'm like, oh, she's dead.
Oh, she's dead.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I was at work and I read that moment. I just went, oh shit, and reading the book series again and knowing just from the second she returned from Meridian, she knew, and hearing how it colors all of their interactions now is so just like, oh shit, So I'm excited to see him get to that. But I think this series of chapters ending with Nynaeve and Elaine being doused with Forkroot, and the role Forkroot is going to play in the series is great. And I was going to tell Eric, but I realized it's a little bit later that Nynaeve tells Tom that girls in the Two Rivers flirt with their fathers. And I'm like, that's not helping Robert. That's not helping you at all. Like, and I know it's
something we do in the Two Rivers.
And when our dads are feeling a little low, I don't know, like, there's some weird shit going on. Exactly. It is some Copland talk, but
our first time reader Kay Sedai is often wondering, like, what's wrong with Robert Jordan. She reads it in the language that he chooses. She's like, she thinks he's a total perv.
Yeah, it's a little, the amount of spankings and weird. It's like Robert Jordan was into some weird things that I think Harriet probably should have read and went, let's keep this private. Maybe not everybody needs to know what you like.
Yeah. Not every bosom needs to be described, Robert.
Yeah, we
got Matt. Matt was just having sex with his medallion on, like he's like some record executive or something.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I can't picture that being super comfortable for Melindra. Like, he's like, what? And like, it's like, this is a medallion. Is it just like? Like,
no. He swings it onto his back. Everyone knows that trick.
Oh,
come on, you throw your chains on your back. We
No, except like he throws it back and it just keeps running back. So like he's like spending 5 minutes just like.
yeah. He's like, oh, just my luck.
Yeah, legit.
It slips and breaks her tooth. She's all, God damn.
Hey, we'll get that healed later, baby.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like he gets distracted really easily, just like, what's up? It's a good series of chapters. Yeah, no, Eric's predictions. He predicted Logain will be healed from being stilled, and I'm like, okay, all right. Like he's gotten some things right, some things a little wrong. Like he says Rand is going to heal Logain, which I'm like, ooh, buddy, I don't think they ever really interact in the series. No, they do. No.
Shit.
Like, I'm trying to think as far ahead, because I know in the Gathering Storm or Knife of Dreams, Rand, there's like a Trolloc attack, and Rand is just like bombing them, and I think it's Logain, or it might be Tyene, or Tyene might be that. I don't know. Books 7 to 14 blend really well, and so like I know when the cleansing of Siding happens, all the Tylen stuff, last battle, everything else is just so like.
Oh, a lot of describing of banners. A lot of banner
Banners,
descriptions.
bosom, babs.
Yeah, and a lot of trim. You got to describe the trim of the dresses.
Oh yeah, Elaine's three chapter babs.
Which I'm a fan.
Well, I love the theory that the actress who everyone suspects is playing Elaine, Sierra Coveney, keeps taking back pictures. And at first it's kind of like, okay, she's kind of like youngish, so she's probably doing that like Instagram, like, look how cute. But it's also like she might be trolling us a little bit. But, you know.
Is she taking pictures in the bath? Is that what you're telling me?
She has like, I mean, you don't see like titties or anything, but like.
No, I'm not. I mean.
I swear I'm searching her. This is a little. Oh, you can. It'll focus.
Yeah.
We'll go there.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, she posted like this, and everyone's like, Elaine?
Yeah.
Listen, I need
she
one
aged up right in front of my eyes.
Which, you know, I'm kind of glad that they aged them up. I'm waiting. I want Donal to do what Barney Harrison did and become the social media king of the Wheel of Time cast. That is.
Okay. He doesn't even have a Twitter account.
I know. That's so upsetting. I'm like, is it like in the contract that when you play Matt, just don't have any social media at all? Like, come on, dude, give us something, you know? I feel like we're little like, I feel like I'm a little like raccoon whenever like Madeline or Marcus post. I'm like,
yeah.
Like I fully thought the when Marcus and I feel like Yosha and Madeline all posted on the same day, and I'm like, oh, are they going to say something about the Matt thing? And then it was nothing, and I'm like, right, probably wouldn't be the one to be like Yosha posting like beach pic. By the way, so it's that Barney's gone beach pic, you know?
Yeah.
So I love the news.
Well, the guy who plays Lan posted something cryptic.
Yeah.
Something like whatever it is, take it on your feet like a man or something.
No, that was a Wheel of Time official. All right, so let's talk about that. I thought that was fucking bullshit. I thought that they were like either they're talking to Barney Frank or Barney Harris. Barney, I know, I like to call Barney Frank. Either they're like directly talking to Barney Harris, which is rude, or they're trying to like talk to us, which is also kind of rude. Be like, yo, whatever comes your way, take it standing up, take it like a man. And God, you fuckers! It's like really, we're upset. It's okay.
I didn't get any like message from it. I did, like, I am finding the silence a little weird. And again, I don't think it's anything nefarious or anything like malicious on their end. I think it's just from a marketing standpoint, we're only 2 weeks away from Comic-Con, and I think they're trying to maybe not. I don't know, because we don't know if Donal will be there or if it's just going to be like Rosamund, Yosha, Madeline, Rafe, Daniel. So there's a lot of unknowns. I wish Barney the best, and this is going to be controversial yet brave. I think Donal was probably a better choice for Matt. Like, Barney looked good, but for me, Donal looks more like a Matt.
Just because he's more attractive doesn't mean.
Listen,
just because he's stunningly just a smashing human being doesn't mean.
Listen, he has a lovely Irish accent. He has a lovely Irish accent. He can sing. He plays the guitar. It is so, it kind of ticks all those boxes for me. And he has this impish sort of look to him that I'm like, oh, perfect. You can play a very sneaky, wily little Matt, But again, it was a very rough moment for the fandom. I think we are all coming off the high of Trailer Gaiden, in which your reaction broke my heart, y'all. That was so sweet and so good. But like the second I heard you guys crying off camera, I was like, oh no, don't do this to me. Don't hurt me like this.
Well, let's take your mind off of it. Guys, here we have proof. This is Elaine in the bath.
Elaine in the bath,
This is Elaine in the bath.
Which I would love if she's not even in the show at all. She's just like a friend, and all of a sudden, like, in a week, she's gained like 200 new followers from all these people. And like, when season 2 the cast is released, she's just like, yeah, no, I'm not Elaine. What are you guys doing? I would love that.
I don't even act. I was delivering coffees to them every day, and they were super nice to me.
What's Wheel of Time?
I drive Uber.
I'm just an Uber driver. Yeah. I'm a Postmates delivery driver. I did see something the other day. Someone posted a picture. I think it was of Hamad, Zoe, and someone else, but you see just out of frame an ear and like some curly hair, and someone's like, "Oh, we thought that was Barney, but I think that's Donal." I'm like, it's like Prometheus. There's so many questions that are just not answered right now.
No, but I'm coming out with a Wheel of News Time news segment tomorrow, and I'm going to talk about this. There's a quote that I found a week ago where Rafe is talking about how great Matt was and how he's a seminal character, and like very specifically talking about Barney. And then, less than a week later, he's already recast. And it kind of makes me wonder like how much we should all be like just hanging on Rafe as like a harbinger of like truth and honesty.
Well, I honestly think they finished filming season 1. Barney backed out, and they kind of, in the interim between season 1 filming that end and all that, they recasted him. And I think there was kind of a thing on set of, we got to kind of keep this private. I think maybe there was going to be a time where they would announce it, maybe at Comic-Con. Because I saw the quote from Rafe, and I know someone on Twitter was saying, like, well, why would he post that? I said, he can't exactly go, Barney was good, because I don't think they foresaw the news coming out. I don't know. There's just a lot to it that I'm like, I don't know what the timeline of this was. I just know.
Was it a true leak? Was it like a true, like, behind the scenes leak, or was it leaked on purpose? Like,
so I imagine from a publicity standpoint, after the rush that like Wheel of Time got, I mean, almost 10 million views on YouTube and all the reaction videos and all the buzz, and with Comic-Con only 3 weeks or a month away, you would think this would be something you'd want to avoid. I think it was just an unfortunate leak that happened. But
it's all hard. It's hard to say. We got to remember that Amazon has a lot riding on this budgetary wise. They already spent like goddamn like hundreds of millions of dollars So this is not anything they want happening at all. So either someone fucked up and like they shouldn't have hired him in the first place, or because he was unstable or whatever speculation people have about him.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time thinking that he just kind of walked away from it though. Like,
No.
that would be very interesting.
It has to be a thing. I think it was amicable because, I mean, there didn't seem to be any ill will. And I think when Barney was on Instagram, his Instagram stories, he mentioned he struggled with depression and mental illness a lot. Mm-hmm. And I have to imagine that for someone who is kind of plucked out of obscurity, not saying like he was no one, but 2 years ago, we didn't know who Barney Harris or Yosha Stradowski, Zoe Robbins, Marcus Rutherford, Madeline Madden were. To go from one day being just someone to all of a sudden you're probably part of one of the biggest, most anticipated TV shows for 30 years for some people. That has to be very mentally overwhelming. And I kind of think he might have just stepped away and said, I don't think I can do this, which, kudos to him. But it's also a thing of, I don't think when Rafe or Sarah or someone makes an official statement, I don't think we're going to get the full story. I think we might get hey, we're sorry that the news came out like this, but Barney Harris left the production on amicable terms or due to personal reasons, It's a lot of speculation that I think, I worry, the Amazon team is entitled to do whatever they want. I worry about the speculation from the fans and how it could turn potentially harmful, not in like a malicious way, but I think,
create like a negative stereotype about Barney Harris's like lifestyle and stuff, and also because he's being pigeonholed in this way or that way, for sure. Because a lot of people say, oh, it was probably his mental health, but then you know how people tend to exaggerate. They could go, what if he said something awful on set? What if he harassed someone? I think curious minds tend to wander, and I think until we get an official statement, it's one of those things where I'm like, at the end of the day, it's kind of not our business. I think we have to kind of accept we're going to probably only get a Barney Harris left for personal reasons, Yeah.
But
it's what do you call it? Oh shoot! Yeah, you've been following probably closer to the Instagram postings, what have you. It feels to me that I've not seen him kind of hanging out with anybody in anybody else's Instagram posts for many months. So I've noticed that even before this happened, that Barney Harris just doesn't hang out with those guys. He's not like partying with them. Yeah. He's not taking selfies with them.
And again, it's from what the pictures, behind the scene pictures, it seems like Yosha, Madeline, Zoe, Hamid, and Marcus, they're all super close. Everyone seems really chill. And, at the end of the day, this is their job, and there's no requirement for them all to be friends. It's a nice little bonus for us if we're like, oh, the Evans Fielders are all friends. And again, it may be a thing of maybe Barney just didn't really mesh with everyone. It just wasn't working out, and I think it was a thing of he stepped away because he's like, I think there's something better. And, again, we know nothing of Donal, I think is how it's pronounced. Donal. Other than the couple of Instagram.
Donal.
We only have like a couple Instagram pictures of him, a speculative picture of him with the cast, but, until we see more, we don't know. And again, I don't think Madeline and Yosha or Marcus or anyone are going to be the type to gossip. So it's a rough situation. It sucks. It's coming so soon after Trailer Guide and so soon. Like Comic-Con's next week, right? Or 2 weeks?
I don't know.
I think it's 2 weeks. It's unfortunate. It sucks. But I think, as Tam Althor said in the trailer, no matter the heartbreak, no matter our heartbreak or sadness, the wheel keeps turning, Mm-hmm. And so we now get 2 Mats. We get 2 seasons of the show, and hopefully season 3, and the show keeps getting renewed. And it'll be a fun little bonus thing when the series ends and, we're all crying over the last battle and we're doing the recap and it's like Barney Harris is there,
Fingers crossed. I love your optimism.
I think the show's going to do well enough that we're going to get the 8 seasons race planned out. I'm putting that out there in the universe that we are going to see a full adaptation of Wheel of Time. We are going to get the last battle. We are going to get Dumai's Wells. We are
for
going
better
to,
or for worse. We're going to get this fucking show.
Yeah, we are going to get this show. And I think, honestly, this map thing, a blip in the radar for me, because I feel like everyone was really upset. But I think once we get Comic-Con and trailer part 2, the second trailer, which, holy shit, I think that's going to overshadow. You're dead. No. Chop. I think it's a minor blip on our thing. It's upsetting, but we got a trailer coming in 2 weeks, so that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Hopefully it's going to be awesome too. And I want to see more things. I want to see what Loial looks like. I want to see Trollocs.
I want to see the White Cloaks.
White Cloaks, right?
I'm excited for the second trailer because first trailer was very Aes Sedai focused. So again, I think we might get more Rand and the boys focused and the more non-Aes Sedai. So we might get White Cloaks, Tinkers, maybe.
Oh, I hope.
I've heard people say that the trailer is going to come out before Comic-Con. What do you think?
Oh.
That they wouldn't do it at Comic-Con. That's not how they roll.
Like
the week before is the prediction.
Here's the thing. I would be happy with the trailer anytime. But I do think, I don't know, maybe we get a WOT Wednesday and it's the second trailer. I hope they do the same thing with Rosamund Pike looking like she's held at gunpoint. Where she was like, I'm very excited to be able to show you the Wheel of Time trailer tomorrow. The wheel weaves. That's great, Rosamund. Now get the fuck off set. I really hope we get. I hope we get, or Yosha, just very like just standing very unnaturally, still going.
Yeah.
So I think we might get.
You can study them and see if they're trying to it's like a hostage video, or are they blinking? In
Blink
some
one.
ways?
Blink one. If Rafe is behind the camera going, don't back up.
Yeah. You want to be recast? I'll recast your ass.
I've done it once. I'll do it again.
I think maybe a trailer the Wednesday before. I think that would make the most sense to build up hype for it. Or, I think maybe it is we get the panel and then they go, all right, before we go, here's this, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Glenn says we should change mad actors every season for the full run.
I think Yosha should play. I think they should mix up the cast for every season. So Yosha plays Matt for season 3. Dolan plays Rand. Marcus plays Lan. Madeline plays Moraine. Rosamund plays Egwene. Mix it up, I think that would be fun.
It's just like being like an off-Broadway play.
It'd be like a Portal Stone world.
I mean, this show is already is someone just took like ideas from the audience and said, all right, let's write a Wheel of Time movie.
Yeah.
Or tissue.
Yeah. All right, what should we do next? Can I have a suggestion from the audience?
I know.
Let's
dance
battle.
Karen, Mary, and,
Dance
battle.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, I'm curious about the whole Perrin being married thing. I don't think it's a big plot arc, or I don't think it's going to be a whole season thing.
They're like, we need to make him depressed, but why is he depressed? No one really knows. He's just been depressed since book 1. Well, let's fucking give him a real arc.
They're asking Sarah book stuff. They're like, okay, so his farm gets attacked, right? Yes. And he was on the farm? No. Well, he doesn't live on the farm. Okay, where's he live? He lives with the blacksmith. Okay, he lives at his job. Yeah, I guess he's apprentice. Yeah, I don't know if he likes his parents. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's literally, well, Perrin for me, Shadow Rising was his last good book for me because I felt like, but even then, even on this reread, I mean, Eric loves Perrin. I don't like Perrin. Perrin just is a very boring character. So I'm like, anything they can do to make him a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more interesting.
He's a dream hunter.
And
He's a motherfucking dream warrior. What are you talking about? He's boring. He flies around.
He's got yellow eyes.
He fucking talks to dogs. I wish my dog I'd be like, oh, what do you want, dog? You look.
I can talk to my dog. You want me to get jaundice? I can get jaundice. I can have yellow eyes too.
You want me to have a rotten liver? You got it.
Let's do it. No, I think making Perrin. I just wish Perrin embraced his wolfness a little more and went like a little more feral. I think he's too boring. I don't know. I think especially with the whole Barrelane thing, where she breasts boobily for 6 books and then just like.
Well, yeah, that's over. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. You know, Perrin's stuck in an unfortunate like situation.
Yeah.
But like when he's about like in the Dragon Reborn, he fucking almost goes feral. Is battling in his fucking loincloth. In the end, he's like just heaving and he's just dripping in blood. And then fucking lands just like, Daishar, fucking wolf brother. And it's just like, we were debating whether or not he just had like a ring of blood around his mouth from just chewing on fucking flesh.
See,
and I do
think
believe he did.
See, I think that'd be really cool if he found a cool balance between being a wolf and a human, and like that. Like, here's the thing: it would be really cool if Perrin, like the White Cloak alternate ending to that thing in the Shadow Rising, Perrin fucking bites one of the White Cloak's necks out and just goes, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yep.
Yeah,
Like,
that would have been great.
Or whenever they show Perrin sleeping, he just goes. "Ruff, ruff, ruff." Like, if they don't have Perrin bark sleeping and like. See, I want Perrin. I know Perrin is a wolf, but I also want him to be a beagle. Like, whenever he's angry, he just does the.
Oh man, there's this really great subtle description of when it's right before Rand leaves camp in the Dragon Reborn, and he's right before he shakes the earth, and like he had been arguing with Moiraine, and Perrin goes over and sees Rand, and he goes and he knew Rand just needed to be with someone, but no one needs to talk, so he goes and sits on a rock.
I love it. It's perfect.
He just goes and sits on a rock and then waits for Rand to say something, and I'm like, what a fucking little doggy.
Or like he just goes like, my dog Snoopy, he's a beagle boxer mix, and whenever he wants something, he'll sit by the door and go. I think Perrin does that, and it's like a lot of people are worried because like he'll be sitting in the wine spring inn and just go. It's like, Perrin, you want out?
In the book it says Perrin rose out of bed, got down on all fours, and stretched out his back.
Perrin did a big stretch. Or I feel like whenever he's about to do something stupid, Fael will just go, treat, and he goes, who's at the door? Who's at the door?
Squirrel.
White cloak.
What was that?
We have deviated from the fires of heaven quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta go, guys. I do love Perrin jokes.
Yeah, I probably should eat dinner.
Yes, everyone in chat, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you all for hanging out.
Do you have a way that you close generally?
We usually do we like to thank you all for coming out. If you are listening to this, the beautifully edited, polished version, why not check us out in our Discord? There is a link in the description, and there's a link in our bio. Usually, Eric will do a gold star of the episode, like the character who he thinks like shined the best. So in its steed, I will say Moraine. I think Moraine gets the gold star. I think we're starting to see a very human side of her and a very almost tragic thing that is to come.
Yeah, knowing what she knows.
Yeah. And then we like to close it out with this. Thank you for coming out. May you always walk in the light, and may you always find water and shade.
Awesome.